My name is Jason Buffington. I'm a senior analyst with ESG covering data protection. Read my blog, technicaloptimist.com, or follow me on Twitter as jbuff. Everywhere you look, folks are looking at modernizing their production environment. In fact, when ESG reported the results of its annual IT spending intentions research for 2014, increased use of server virtualization was the #1 priority overall. Funny thing, right next to that in the list was improved data backup and recovery in the #3 slot. When we look strictly at mid-sized organizations with users between 100 and 999, improving backup and recovery was actually the #1 priority, and virtualization was #2. Heck, when you look at the last 3 years worth of IT spending, improving backup and recovery and server virtualization have been in the top 3 slots every year. When you look at mid-sized organizations over the same 3 years, improving backup was the #1 slot for the last 3 years running. So why? Why is backup always in the top 3? Well, in large part because virtualization is always in the top 3. Because when people aggressively evolve their production infrastructure, they almost inevitably discover that the protection capabilities are inadequate to keep pace. Sometimes they discover during the planning process, and other times they figure it out because the legacy backup solution that was barely adequate when they were 20% virtualized stops being adequate by 40%, and even begins to hinder that shiny new production environment by 60% or more. Why? Because legacy methods often incur performance and scale penalties that might seem negligible at first, but the more that you virtualize, the worse it gets. Of course, you could deploy business continuity style availability tools to supplement that, but cost-wise, that's tough for a lot of folks to swallow. So we find ourselves stuck between legacy inadequacy on the left and expensive complex measures on the right. So what should you do? Focus on the middle. How to achieve modern protection as you deploy modern production. I'm going to say that again. You must modernize your production and your protection at the same time, or else. My guess is that one of the main reasons why so many organizations have more than one data protection tool is because they have a legacy solution for their physical servers, but many don't have confidence that solution will keep pace with their new shiny modern data center infrastructure that's built on a highly virtualized set of components. And why aren't they confident? Because the old stuff really is inadequate to protect today's converged data center components. It's not your imagination. If you are just starting your production maturity journey, I have a few suggestions for what you should be planning for on the protection side of that adventure. And if you're already out of step, you urgently need to reevaluate your protection capabilities to ensure that you gain the maximum value out of the production environment that you're investing in. Here's what you should be looking for. Agility of recovery. Almost any backup solution can do a decent job of backing up a single VM thanks to VMware VADP and Microsoft VSS APIs. Sure, there are nuances, but the real story is how agile is your recovery. And that agility comes in 2 flavors, speed and granularity. Can you recover the VM from the backup server without first restoring it to the host? Look, if you're going to be protecting something which is supposed to be always on, how quickly you can bring that VM back is huge. And also, can you do granular recovery of data objects from within the VMs of the backup? That's agility. You should also be thinking about comprehensive protection. We are seeing more and more often where backups need to be supplemented with snapshots, replication, or both. And they are complementary to each other. In fact, in ESG's 2013 Trends in Protecting Highly Virtualized Environments report, we saw that folks were using a wide variety of snapshots and replication mechanisms to protect their VMs. But check out the bottom data point. Less than 10% of respondents only used VM backups. The other 90+% supplemented that protection with snapshots, replication, or both. That being said, just because you are using multiple approaches to protect your data, you should not settle for using separate point products to manage each. Instead, look for solutions that combine the manageability of backups plus snapshots plus replication. You should also be looking for monitoring and management that understands virtualization in both production and protection. Did you know that 5 of the top 6 challenges in protecting highly virtualized environments actually have to do with visibility? Check out those verbs: validating, identifying, simplifying views, troubleshooting. Virtualization solves many IT challenges, but also creates a few by abstracting away all the details that help us understand what should be backed up, was it successful, is it performing well, etc. Yeah, some backup UIs have good and getting better management interfaces, though a lot of them are still way too hard to use or understand. And sure, you can get some information from the hypervisor management UIs and their plugins, but frankly, a lot of those still have a lot left out. Instead, I recommend that you be looking for not only modern management UIs that are truly virtualization savvy within your backup solution, but also integrating your backup and virtualization intelligence through your overall systems management toolset, so that you truly have a unified and actual pane of glass to manage your production and your protection systems with. You should also be looking for reliability, durability, and supportability, whether it's in deployment, with data at rest, or ongoing operation. With ESG research showing that 1 in 7 backups and 1 in 5 restores failing their SLAs, it's no wonder that folks are looking for something more. So I've lumped a few ideas here together, but because all the feature claims of rapid recovery this, or the integration with that, or the ease to use whatever, none of it matters if you aren't confident in it. And frankly, confidence comes from several places. When you're looking at a product or company, what is the global community saying about the product or company? What kind of relationship do you have with the vendor and or the local partner? Have you checked out their support services, their online resources, their community? Are you convinced your data will actually be there when you need it? And by that I mean, what kind of durability, indestructibility, ongoing validation mechanism does the product use in order to ensure the data really will be recoverable? And are they continuing to innovate? Backups can be relatively predictable now, but there's still a huge amount of differentiation among recoveries between solutions, or snapshot integration, or orchestration, or management support, and proactively monitoring, etc. You get the idea. Remember, you don't have to settle for mediocre protection and unreliable recoveries, but you do have to ensure that you modernize your production, as you are also reassessing your protection capabilities. And oh, by the way, it should have a TCO ROI that fits you as well. If you like this list, let me know by commenting on this blog, the video, or just tweet me at jbuff. And if I missed another key requirement, let me know that too. I hope this was helpful. I'm Jason Buffington for ESG. Thanks for watching.